Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are with y'all with some breaking news on a Wednesday night. And we usually would have our show on Friday, but there's been a big change in everything going on. But before we get into that, make sure y'all like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is in the description below. Um, we got to get that going as well so we can get more videos out to y'all. But I am joined here with Lucas, and we got some things to get into because there has been breaking news that the game versus LSU this weekend at 4 o'clock has been postponed due to Florida and 19 players having COVID 19 and 10 additional players
And
being
two
on
coaches. And
mandatory. Yeah, and also two coaches, but also 10 other players that are on a mandatory 14-day quarantine. So, how is this going to be going into the season? You know what is going to happen next, and we're going to break that down for y'all tonight. But Lucas, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, but I was just a little bummed that we're not gonna have football this weekend. But it is what it is. It's
Yeah,
safety. I'd rather
exactly.
I'd
Uh,
rather have the players be safe than risking their health to
Exactly. I
see.
couldn't agree more because player safety is, the number one thing, that we look for when they're on the field and when they're off the field. We don't want no injuries. We don't want no illness. We don't want none of that. We just want to see some football be played. But football is on the back burner when it comes to health and the player safety and everything like that for the players, the coaches, and the fans as well. As much as we would all like things to be normal, things are not normal. So we got to just roll with the punches, get through it and do the best we can to see some football being played. Unfortunately, that
You
won't
know
be
what
the
I'm
case
saying?
for week 4. Um, what was your initial thoughts when the news came down this morning?
I was like, oh no, we're not gonna see a football, but we're not gonna see a football game. But I was, I was, I was kind of shocked to be honest with you because when the news came down this morning, I knew that they had paused everything, but I thought they would still play the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you had everything paused yesterday, all football related activities, which was a good thing because it was like a step in the right direction to kind of say, where we at. And then everything got reevaluated today. And then more cases came out. I woke up this morning, and seeing the news this morning, and I was like, wow, uh, it's not looking good. You've seen all the posts about the potential of it being postponed, and it just got more and more likely that it was going to happen. And then they
I
broke
even
the
had sources,
news.
I even had sources tell me that maybe an hour before it was actually postponed. I actually had sources tell me that it was gonna get postponed,
Yeah,
so I kind of
yeah,
knew before they announced it.
yeah. I mean, we knew, and the potential was there, and it happened. But that's all right. Hopefully we can get back at it next week. But that's another thing that we're going to get into,
As
because
David Warner said, there's never a dull moment.
yes, David Waters says it best. There's never a dull moment in Gator Nation, and this year it is so accurate with that. It is just one thing after another. We went from not even being able to have a season to having what we're having, and we knew there was going to be some bumps in the road, and we got to roll with that and just move forward. Um, but the one thing that I wanted for those of y'all who are
Yeah.
watching, drop a comment. Let us know what y'all think about this breaking news with not playing the game this Saturday. I know a lot of us are shocked. I know I was, but when it all comes down to it, player safety over everything else. But there's other good games this weekend that we can tune into. But hopefully we can get back next weekend versus Missouri. Um, with the
That's the thing I was wondering. How is this going to affect the Mizzou game? Because I
yeah,
really want to see. I
yeah.
really want to see the throwback uniforms again.
Before we get into that, we will say this: the makeup day is December 12th, at 4 p.m. So y'all be aware that it's not going to be right around the corner, but we'll play this game, and
It's gonna
maybe we'll look a whole lot better on defense than
it's
what we
gonna be
have by then.
it's gonna be after Tennessee, so it's gonna be right after the Tennessee game the week after.
So yeah, so say we win, we roll the table, we win every game, we go to the SEC East, we represent for the East. That means we're not going to have a week off from Tennessee, have the week off, and then playing the SEC championship. Now that game of playing LSU will be right there on the 12th, a week before the SEC championship game. So
That part
um,
sucks because if
yeah,
we
exactly. So that scenario plays out like that. If we get there, that's how it plays out. And I wanted to say that with everything that has gone on for the first 3 weeks, and the Florida defense not looking good, the Florida offense looking real good, um, everybody's got to calm down. Everything is still ahead of us. Georgia is in the East. Tennessee is in the East. Them are the only two teams that we need to worry about that are in our way.
and
As
one of
long as we're bring our A game all the
and
other
I
games.
and I agree with what Dale said on Monday. He's like, no team's gonna go undefeated with the schedule, and one of them and two of the teams are playing each other this weekend.
Exactly. Alabama and Georgia are playing this weekend, so that could shake things up as well. But with Florida not playing, hopefully after this weekend that we'll still be in the top 10 and we'll still be there. I say we should be there if Ohio State and Penn State are in the top 10 and they ain't even played a down of football. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with the rankings and like coming out Monday or Sunday, after everything is completed for this weekend's games. Um, but, like you were mentioning, Lucas, you kind of dabbled in it. What does this mean for, next week when we play Missouri? And my take on that is we have 10 players who are on a 14-day quarantine. That means them players are not going to be able to play next weekend either. So we know we're going to be short 10 players. But how many players, contracted COVID-19 from last week to this week to now looking into next week? You know what I'm saying? So we're not. It's not looking good of how many numbers that we're having of these players that contracted COVID-19.
It's not
The
like it's
re-
one or two. It's like it's a fifth of the roster.
right, uh, and we need everybody that we can. If there are some key players out, and here's why I on one hand, I'm glad that it got postponed because if this happens and we have this game played and we're missing these key players, we need them to win this game because it's going to be an unfair game if we have some key players out and they have like their whole roster. So, when you look at it from that perspective, you want your whole team. You want everybody to be ready. You want everybody to be healthy. And, injuries are a given. But the reports have said that it is looking like a lot of them have mild symptoms, which is great news. They should recover and be back on the field in no time. But they got to go through the process of getting tested again, doing their quarantining, and it's just it's an issue, but it's one that we'll get through as Florida Gators, and we don't know what's going to come. How are you
I'm
feeling about the future of what this
I'm
means
ki-
beyond this weekend?
I'm kind of uncertain. I'm kind of on the fence whether we should play this week or next week because we don't know how many players have the. I mean, we know how many players have the virus, but we don't know
Hmm.
how many of them have serious symptoms and how many have minor symptoms, and
And how
we
many
don't know.
people, yeah, and how many people they came in contact with, which is Football is a physical sport. You're in contact with people throughout practice, throughout the game. You never know what opposing teams have. So far, Texas A&M has looked good. Ole Miss has got a few cases. Missouri's got some cases, which caused their game to get postponed. So I
I
mean,
I
it's
honestly think going to A&M caused this to happen, but I'm not trying to blame them. I don't
I,
know.
it's a thing that it's we don't know who got it, so we can't play no blame game of this or that. But what we can say is we wish the best for all the players, all the coaches, to get healthy and get back on the field and get ready for whatever games we're allowed to play or whatever they
I'm
tend to
hoping
do.
I'm
I just
hoping we have a game before Georgia because I don't know if you realize this game, but the game after Missouri is Georgia, so I'm hoping we get to play them before Georgia. I'm
Yes,
hoping.
exactly. So those of you who are looking at the schedule and see that we play LSU, Missouri, Georgia. The thing is we have LSU, which postponed, Missouri. I'm going to call that questionable, and then you have the bye week, and then you play Georgia. So we could go
What
three
you
weeks
could do,
without playing a game.
I didn't even think about this. What you could do is put the Missouri game on the bye week. If
That I see where you're coming from, but then you got to think about what a game Missouri has that following week, the week that we have a bye week. You know what I'm saying? So we can't exactly do that. What I was looking at is when our bye week was to LSU's bye week. Our bye week is Halloween weekend, and LSU's bye weekend is the weekend that we play Georgia. So you can't, fit the LSU-Florida game in those, in that in our bye week to make that game happen. So that's why it got pushed to the end of the year to be played on December 12th, the week after we play our 10th game, which is Tennessee. So it's just the way it's the way the cookie crumbles, as they say. Um, but
and we knew that this was not going to be normal, so we
yeah,
knew that this season wasn't going to be normal. We expected some bumps in the road, so to speak.
yeah, yeah. Um, like I said, the makeup date December 12th at 4 p.m. Game time, same time.
Is it on ESPN or did they not give that out yet?
I don't think the station is yet listed yet, but we do know the date and the time. Maybe not the network. So we'll see what this brings, what this causes. But we had to, get on here and drop the breaking
And by
news.
the way, we're not
Of
doing
course,
a show on
everybody knew.
Friday night.
Yeah, and then we will not be having our show this Friday night. We are canceling that. We won't have a post game show. We might get together and have something throughout the week. We'll drop details in the groups and let y'all know what we're going to be planning, what we're going to be doing. But until then, you know how it
If
goes.
you ain't
If
a
you ain't a
gator, you
gator,
must be
you
gator
must be
bait.
gator bait.